Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Oh, it is a Monday, isn't it? It feels it in an odd way, not a bad way. Just like it's like if there were categories of Monday, whereas like the stereotypical negative Monday was like the first category, it's probably like the category below that. I don't know if that makes sense. Hello, hello, Candia. Hi, Sandra, Weasley, Momo. Quaz, hello. Anthony, hello. Maddie, hello. You're using my live as a podcast? Amazing. It's practically a podcast anyway. I really just talk about whatever. That's great. It's nice for me to be able to do that without having to actually actively think of podcast-worthy material every week. So there we go. Hi, Lee. Instantly agree, having the same Monday. Yeah, like not a bad Monday, but it's got the vibe of a Monday enough that it's noticeable. That's how I would describe it. Nina, Lady Danbury, Pumpkin Mama, hello. Now, the shock of I was gonna say century, that's a little bit dramatic, but when am I not dramatic? The shock of the century is that we don't have patch notes today. What is that? I was definitely, wait, let me see. No, okay. I did have a Twitter notification, and every now and then they'll post like a double post and do something at 2, but no such luck as of yet. What's up with that? Not only did I want to talk about it today, that would have been nice. Also, we're getting close to the update. I need to write my list because we all know I can't remember a single thing, let alone a list of things. I need to make my physical list of everything I need to check out on update day with all of you so I don't miss anything. Probably, I don't know. And I checked around noon-ish when we usually get a socials post, right? I went in the news section of the Dreamlight Valley website to confirm when the last patch notes dropped. It dropped, I think, at 9 a.m. on the Monday. At least that's when the article did. I don't know if that's also when they posted it to socials. We're now at 2 p.m. on Le Monday. Just looking at my watch. Zentalk, hello. A very Monday-ish Monday. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Not bad, but everything's a little extra difficult. You're blaming the lack of patch notes. Honestly, Gameloft, how very dare. We're having Mondays. Thanks to no patch notes. It's storming in your area. Oh, listen, I actually live for a storm. As long as it's not like 2 weeks of constant storming, I love that vibe. I think it's maybe because I spent a lot of time growing up in the Pacific Northwest where it rains all the time. There's something so satisfying about an overcast day and lots of rain, especially when you don't have to be out and about in it. If you have to be outside in it, that's completely different, but I'm a fan. Happy update week, Kaylin. Is it Kaylin? Welcome in. I hope you're having a great day. Okay, so we're going to be doing some update prep today. Now, to be completely honest, a lot of this I'm making up because I don't know what we actually need. And I'm mostly good to go on a lot of things, but I figured actually maybe we should make sure my storage is topped up with things. That might be nice. What else? Gonna clean up around the valley again, because, you know, I just cleaned yesterday, but it just gets messy again. So I guess we're gonna clean up again, and then maybe we'll do some decorating if I get bored. Because I was thinking we were working on that Dream Snap yesterday. The Alice in Wonderland update has come to a close now, and I could actually just start doing my Wonderland floating island. That's a possibility. So we'll see what we absolutely get up to, but it's probably going to be a lot of just running around, chatting, vibing. If you all have some update prep to do, hop on your game if you can and do it with me, and it'll be good. Missed for vacuums. Fortunately or unfortunately, I had everybody as time benders, so that's not showing my mist. I have way too much mist. I think I have like 1 million mist. Clarissa, lurking and update prepping. Amazing. Thank you for lurking. clarifying question about the update, you can. I don't know that I will absolutely have an answer, but ask away. You're looking at the previous patch notes drop times, and Jungle Getaway 1 came out at 3:15 on a Tuesday. Really rude, actually. Hi, Yana. Hector, you have no Dreamlight and no desire to grind for it. I don't think we'll need a large amount of Dreamlight, but I don't know. We're not getting a realm, so we won't need it for that. But I don't know if we'll need any to get into Skull Rock. I feel like we don't usually need Dreamlight for that kind of thing. How did the Dream Snap go? Hate it or not? Honestly, hate it. I haven't looked at it since yesterday, but the more I think about it, the more I hate it. I'm just not going to open it and look at it again, because if I do, I'm going to redo it completely today, and I don't really want to do that. So we're just gonna Beatles let it be, I suppose. Rub it in. Listen, Anthony, if you want a million mist, you got to do the work. I can't do it for you. I spent so much time before Storybook Vale doing all the things. Time bending was one of them. You're down to 5,000 mist, so you need to do some grinding. It also doesn't hurt that I think I still have almost everybody as a time bender, with the exception of some of the new people that we had since Storybook Vale came out. I made some of those people snippet catchers, but pretty much everyone is a time bender still. So whenever I do any time bending for Dreamlight duties, I still get a lot of mist. Yeah, it's pretty much everybody. Like a good 80 to 90% of the people. I don't know how many people we have, but that feels like a good guess. It's pretty much everyone. The orb for the pillar on Dazzle Beach. That should be in the Dark Castle, I believe. But I don't remember the specifics. Does anyone remember? I think it's in there somewhere or tied to that somehow. Excited for the update because it gives you an excuse to finally get the game on PS5. Oh, nice. We love that. Here we go. Time bending is more fun for you than grinding valley duties. I would say I agree with that when my valley is not fully decorated. When my valley is fully decorated, sometimes time bending becomes frustrating because it will want me to go to places that are not easily accessible. Been doing a lot of decorating, but need to finish up some questing. Ah, actually, wait, let me see. No. Mirabelle? I don't have the quest yet. Oh well. It's what it is. I think I just have the last Arcs Fest one left. Okay. Mushrooms, mushrooms. Wish we could pin all of the Dreamlight duties. Me too, and the Star Path. That's one of my bigger quality of life requests currently. If we could pin the whole Dreamlight duties page or the whole Star Path tasks, and then when you finish one, it will replace it with the next one. That would make doing both of those things so much easier. Thank you for the sip reminder.
What a perfect day.
Your valley is usually in shambles from you changing your mind on decor though. Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I've kind of moved away from using my actual valley for dream snaps. I've mostly been using the islands, which has been nice, but ultimately I would like to eventually decorate my islands too. So then we're just going to be out of luck, I think. It's just going to be largely unfortunate. You're getting your gaming setup in July. Oh, nice. Is it like a PC you're building? You have a PS5 question. Will all users be able to access it or just the account that buys it? Ah, good question. Any PlayStation Dreamlight Valley players, can you have different saves on different accounts on your PlayStation? Okay. The way I forgot the hotkey for that. Anyway. We're cleaning. Oh, I can't wait for Wednesday. I'm gonna get rid of all of the night thorns in my valley. I still have not decorated back here. I don't really come back here because I never use the multiplayer portal, but it's the principle of the thing. I think I need to do it. You know what? You can stay there, actually. Also, if I run by a blue chest, someone please tell me. I need all the moonstones I can get. You and you. Why did I go this way? Recently, okay, okay. I feel like maybe some of you can relate to this. Do you all have an order of the biomes that you go around when you're cleaning or time bending or something like that? I have a usual way that I go. Like I have a specific mining route, and then I also have just like a general flow that I take. And yesterday and today, for some reason, I just went off script. And it throws me off once I realize I'm going the wrong way, because then I'm like, okay, but how do I circle back around? It makes me feel like I'm going to end up getting lost, even though I know my way around the valley. It's more just like, I feel like I'm going to spend a lot of time going to the same biome, or like forget which biomes I haven't been to yet. You have a very specific order. Yeah, I have a super specific order. With mining, it's very intense, like down to which mining node specifically I start at. With general valley cleanup, it's less specific. I usually start in the plaza and then I go forest, frosted, beach, glade, meadow, and then sunlit and forgotten lands. But recently I've been going to the meadow first and I don't like it. I don't know why I'm doing that. You have an order for time bending, but you never stick to it. I, for time bending, usually start in the Forgotten Lands and then go sunlit, plaza, meadow, glade, beach, forest, frosted heights. I mean, depending on what kind of cleanup I'm doing, I'll also do that. It's just usually I end up in the plaza and I'm like, oh, let me do something. So then I just like adjust to my plaza start. Thanks for lurking, Yana. I appreciate it. Whenever you go rogue, you feel out of place. Yeah, I'm like, where am I? What am I doing? Where am I? Okay. I need to actually get rid of this. Maybe I should make a place in my house where I can put that, actually. Because I don't want to just leave it out here. Oh, the reason I have this table here is because someone had mentioned when they put it in their inventory, they lost it. Have we had any updates about this? Like, if I put it in my furniture inventory, will this quest table disappear? I need to know.
Keep believing in yourself.
I'll try, Fairy Godmother. It's difficult sometimes. Okay. And I'm specifically not going to sell this stuff. So I'm going to see if I can top up my storage. It's been a long time since I did that. You're not sure, you're just mad you can't use it in Teapot Falls. Wait, it's one of those where you can't use it in... Or you have to use it in the valley or something? I don't think I've tried it anywhere else. That's unfortunate. I wish they would stop doing that. I wonder if there's a specific reason. I feel like it doesn't have to be that way. Hi from all around. You know, Monday is Mondaying. It's okay. I did just barely finish. Okay, so actually, I recently rediscovered my love for Libby. Libby, if you don't know, is an app. I'm not affiliated with it whatsoever. Anyway, I'm not. But it's an app where you can plug in your library card if you have a library card, and you can borrow digital books and audiobooks from your local library through the app. And if you use a Kindle in particular, you can send the books to your Kindle so you don't have to read it on like your tablet or your phone if you don't want to. Anyway, recently rediscovered my love for Libby. I had an audiobook from Libby that was due today at like 12:45, like an hour before streamish. The library will digitally yeet the book back once the time comes. I had like 40 minutes left once 12:45 came around, but I got the notification. I was listening to it at the time. I got the notification. It was like, the library has taken your book back because your loan period ended. And I was like, no, but it was already playing. So it let me finish listening to the rest of it. I was so happy. Oh my goodness. It made me feel so successful, even though I had planned to start listening to it early enough that I wouldn't have had to worry about the return time. But it felt like a wonderful little gift on this Monday. The reason is to annoy us for only letting us put things on certain maps. Possibly. Libby is your bestie? Yeah, I mean, I had mostly been using like Kindle Unlimited and my backlog of physical books, and then occasionally buying something if I was really wanting to read it, but I've been trying not to buy books as much recently. It's incredibly expensive purchasing books, like too much so sometimes. But yeah, so rediscovered my love of Libby. It's been really great. Yeah, I know Libby is a thing in the US. I think there's a similar app in other countries, or some other countries might also use Libby. I don't know. It's really great though, because yeah, usually places it's pretty easy to get a library card, and you just plug in your card number pretty much into the Libby app, and you can just borrow books from your library. Audiobooks or digital books. It's fab. Am I an audiobook person or a physically read the book person? It depends. The only thing that I strongly prefer in audiobook is a memoir or like an autobiography. Especially, well, exclusively pretty much if the person that wrote the book is the narrator. Example, Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died, one of my favorite memoirs that I've ever read, and she narrates the audiobook version of her memoir, and it's so good. Like, the book is good, but the audiobook of her narrating it, it's just so nice because, you know, you have the person telling their story, right? When you're reading something like that, which is already really interesting to like hear a person talking about their life, but then to actually hear them talking about it, like telling you the story, I don't know, there's something really special about it. Yeah, it feels very connected, especially if somebody is a performer in some way like Jeanette McCurdy is. Or I also listened to Viola Davis's memoir. That was fabulous. I think I listened to Michelle Obama's back in the day. There's just like something about listening to those that are really good. In terms of fiction and stuff, I don't tend to listen to audiobooks much unless it's a story that's quite dense or like contemporary fiction, fantasy. If the story is very dense and I find myself getting very distracted, I like to co-read with the audiobook and a physical book, or the book on my Kindle. That's really helpful to me. And I do the same thing sometimes with classics too, because it helps me increase my reading comprehension, which can be pretty abysmal sometimes. And it keeps my mind from wandering. Did I see 2 more cast members were announced today for Sunrise on the Reaping? I did! Oh my goodness, Glenn Close and Billy Porter, are you kidding me? I saw that, I was like, oh. Listen, Sunrise on the Reaping is going to be so good. I know I just talked about the fact that Wicked is like the best cast musical or like movie of maybe ever. Sunrise on the Reaping seems like could be that as well. The cast just seems like perfection for the characters. Very, very excited. You're listening to Fourth Wing and loving it? Oh, I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I have the biggest, I wouldn't really call it a love-hate relationship. I would call it an enjoy-hate relationship with Fourth Wing. Yeah. It's almost like how I feel about ACOTAR, but kind of more critical of the thing itself and less of the character. Like ACOTAR, I have a love-hate relationship with. It's mostly the characters that I hate. Fourth Wing, I have an enjoy-hate relationship, and it's mostly the world building and the plot that I... I have so many questions about. What was I doing? But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I don't hate on anybody for enjoying it. I enjoyed it when I read it. Okay. Flowers. Tiffany Haddish's book is so good on audio. She's so funny. Oh, I would imagine that to be the case. Fiction narrations need to have multiple voices for you to really get into them, or a superb narrator. Ooh. I feel like, yeah, I don't know what it is about. I also, when I'm listening to an audiobook and reading at the same time, I have to have it at 3 times speed. And a lot of the books that I read, the narrators are like, how do I explain this? There's like a specific sound to the voice of a narrator of like a romantasy, for instance, specifically the femme voices. And when you listen to them at 3 times speed, it hurts my ears. It's nothing against the actual narrator. It's just the fact that I'm listening to it at that speed and what the distortion does to their voice. It makes my ears hurt. Hi, Gummy Bear Kiss. Hello. You're loving getting all the casting announcements. Such insane casting. Yeah, very exciting. But I stand by it. They better not show me who's playing Ambert. They haven't. I don't know if they don't know yet. I don't know like why they haven't yet. But if I set my eyeballs on that person, I will not be seeing the movie. Like, I really don't think I will be. I think my issue with Fourth Wing is primarily that the entire plot doesn't make any sense from a world building perspective. So this is no spoilers, but like the general premise of Fourth Wing is that you have someone who's going to essentially this like training program to be a dragon rider, which is like the highest form of and like the most prestigious form of military, or like, yeah, essentially, right? And they're in like this huge war and they're dramatically in need of more soldiers, right? But at this school, you're also in, and like they only take the best of the best as people who are able to enter this training program to become dragon riders. But as part of this, they encourage you to like cull your group, so like they encourage you to off each other because they're like survival of the fittest. But if you're taking your best and brightest and strongest and encouraging them to cull each other, you are by necessity weakening yourself and losing manpower that you could be using in this war that you desperately need soldiers for. So that doesn't make any sense. And additionally, this is still not spoiler because this is all like just world building in the first chapter. Additionally, there was this big like rebellion kind of like thing that happened in the past, I don't know, decade or so. And they took the children of the like quote unquote bad guys and are forcing them to become dragon riders. But why would you take people whose parents you executed, who probably don't like, who you also treat badly in your society, and elevate them to a position of the most power and prestige? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I just have a lot of like, the whole concept just doesn't really make sense, and that makes it a lot more difficult for me to enjoy it. Also, there's some really weird stuff that happens with dragons and that I don't like. You love listening to cozy mysteries or nonfiction, not too much of anything else. I love a cozy mystery. Actually, I haven't read one in a really long time. That being said, I did like enjoy the experience of reading Fourth Wing. I feel like people who either read a lot in the era of like Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, or people who really like stories like that will probably resonate with Fourth Wing because it's kind of a contemporary, what's the word that I would like to use? Like a contemporary descendant of those kinds of stories. So I understand its appeal. And it is a bit of a page turner for most of it. Wait, Libby has a sleep timer? I did not know this. You were thinking about reading Fourth Wing after ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. I love Throne of Glass. I can't stand the main character in Throne of Glass, but it becomes like an ensemble story later, and then like some of the other main characters I like a lot more, but it's so good. The one thing I will say about Throne of Glass, though, if you're expecting it to be like ACOTAR or Fourth Wing, I think you'll be kind of disappointed. The first 2 books, maybe 3 books, are kind of more in that vein, but starting book 3-ish, book 4-ish, it becomes a lot more of like an epic high fantasy style story and less like a more young adult, new adult fantasy romance story. The cast expands a lot. The story develops in a little bit of a different way, but it's so good. There's a little moon icon you click and you can set it to stop reading after however many minutes. Oh, that's nice. Isn't Throne of Glass a girl POV of The Witcher show? No. It is not. Although the characters I think have somewhat similar names. What's the is it Ciri in The Witcher? And the character in Throne of Glass is Selena. Okay, wait, why was I here? Oh yes, to put these away. Sweet, sweet, sweet. The book that I just finished this morning, I had never heard of it before. I just found it when I was browsing Libby. It was called Ballad and Dagger. It's by, let me see if I can remember this author's name. I believe it's David Jose Order. I'm confident that the second two names are Jose Order. I'm slightly less confident that their first name is David. I apologize to this author if that is just incredibly inaccurate. It's like a YA fantasy. It was very interesting. It was like a blend kind of Coco, the movie, and Percy Jackson and the Olympians, with a little bit of like Children of Blood and Bone or like Heavenly Bodies sprinkled in there. It was kind of fascinating. Definitely like a young adult fantasy, which I don't read a lot of, even though I just finished Percy Jackson and the Olympians not that long ago. Where am I going? Here. Have I read The Rook by Daniel O'Malley? I have not. I think that author's name sounds familiar to me. But I don't know why I know it. I don't think I've read anything by them. Since the Forgotten's becoming a villager, you wonder if they'll get a new house. Yeah, I'm curious. I kind of wonder if they're going to just share our house, but I don't really know how that would work, or if they'll stay in the Dark Castle, you know? Seeing if there's anything for me to clean. Hi, Lucy. Hello, hello. Maybe they'll fix the treehouse. Wait, how do you mean? Like, fix up the outside of it? I don't know if I could see that happening. Well, at least not to become a home for them, because of what we already know the inside of the treehouse is. I don't think it would become a home for them. That just brings me back though. Oh my goodness. Does anyone remember, if you were playing at the time, the trailer for the Remembering update? It was so iconic because we have ourselves. Oh my goodness. I can picture it so clearly. We're walking with Fairy Godmother, right? Towards the treehouse. We'd been wondering about the pumpkin house for so long. We'd been wondering, well, actually the treehouse hadn't been that at the time, but anyway, we see the treehouse, and at the end of the trailer, there's like a little clip. This wasn't even the trailer because it came out before the update. It was like a little sneak peek, right? We have a clip of the Forgotten looking ominous in the castle. Oh, it was so iconic. They really, really ate with that one. They did. It'd be cool if their quest included a little dark castle renovation. Yeah, or at least like cleanup. If they like the vibe of it, that's cool. But I feel like we should help them just clean the place up a little bit. Do you really want the Forgotten to be an actual villager? Like, you know, you're going to enter her house and it's going to be like, you live like this? Listen, I already made a whole house for the Forgotten. Actually, it's this one. This was one of the first houses I ever decorated all the way. Look, she's got a whole cozy little situation going on here. She's got a bedroom. Cute. Well, this isn't the bedroom. This is her library with a little poetry reading spot. It's cute. She does, in fact, have a bedroom, though. That one's back here. This was the one that I made when we had to make a purple room for her or something. It's cute. She also has a whole council room, so she can hold council and be the mediator between the villains and the heroes of the valley. Like, she's set. I hate to say it, but anything they give my girl is not going to be this iconic. You think they'll open the treehouse in the Forgotten Lands? How far have you made it in the story so far? You did have to be there for the sneak peek of the Remembering. The Remembering, I feel like, was maybe the most exciting update in terms of like anticipation and drama, you know? because we had been leading up to it for so long. We had been getting so much story so consistently in the free updates, and we'd had that pumpkin house and that big old mound in the middle of the Forgotten Lands. So to finally have that revealed to us was really fun. They have not released patch notes yet. At least they hadn't last time I checked. Let me pull up the website just to see if they sneakily dropped it, but I doubt it. How do I get to the news? Yes, I'm doing this in like a teeny tiny little browser that's squeezed above my OBS. No, it doesn't look like they posted them yet. Do I have a photographic memory? No. I don't, but I feel like I do have a fairly strong memory for things. I used to do well in school with limited studying, so I feel like that was nice. It also, I think, depends a little bit on how much I care about something. The more interesting I find something, the more likely I am to remember it, even if I've only seen it once, which I feel like is pretty standard for people, but the village is so gorgeous. Thank you. Coming up with the ideas is really just mostly my ideas tend to start from color palettes and general vibes. So when I look at a biome, I will kind of just come up with the vibe that I think suits it, or I'll find houses that I think fit the color palette, like with these ones over here. I thought the pinks and the tans were really pretty in Mythopia. And from there, it's just a lot of trial and error, putting things around, adding different things, seeing what does and doesn't work. Usually hating something and then eventually pushing past that point.
Hi there, pal.
Why did I come here? I meant to go to the vacuum. I apologize, Goofy, for taking up your time. That was really rude of me. You wouldn't say you have a photographic memory, but you know where you were when the first Wicked teaser dropped. Oh my goodness. I didn't watch the Super Bowl that night. This was Super Bowl, what, 2024? Very shame on me. I'm not a sports girly, but I should have been. Like, I should have known better. I did see it right afterwards, though. It was in my house. I was thrilled. Oh, why are you here? You started playing an early release, which is why you feel like the thorns will go away and she'll make a new... Oh, wait, new and happy memories. Ah. I mean, it would kind of make sense to move the tree. The thing is, I feel like, yeah, we experienced the tree in the storyline with the forgetting, but I don't necessarily, I mean, it's been a long time since I did that storyline. So if anybody has done it recently, please let me know if I'm remembering this incorrectly. But I felt like the locale inside the treehouse, we did have memories there associated with the Forgotten, but the place was not created because of the Forgotten. It's just like it was a place that we could access memories that were created by them. Does that make sense? Like, theoretically, there could be other memories there. Which is why I don't know if that would become their house or they would renovate it and have us move it. For the record, I'm not against moving the treehouse. At the very least, I feel like I would really appreciate if they adjusted the footprint of it. It's really difficult to decorate around. I just feel like the function that it serves and the way that I would anticipate it's coded into the game, I don't know if they can move it. Or if they can, I think it would be a really big, like more of a feat than one might think. to make it movable. Hi, Inez. Hello, hello. Okay, let me put these away. Actually, my house is over here. You're gonna need a Mythopia decor video. Listen, I'm trying. My goal is to finish... Well, my goal was to finish decorating Storybook Vale before we get the next DLC drop, but now I'm thinking I might wait till afterwards. But once I'm done, I'll do a full Storybook Vale tour. It'll be great. A little delayed from when I anticipated, but it also took me a long time to do my Eternity Isle one, to be fair. And now my Eternity Isle is in shambles. It's all a wreck. Oh. Well, there you go. You don't even have your Eternity Isle fully decorated? Well, I don't now either. We did it all together for the most part on streams. And then I made my full tour video of Eternity Isle. And then, like an absolute goober, when we were getting Storybook Vale, I was like, wouldn't it be fun if I completely bulldozed my valley and completely bulldozed Eternity Isle? And that way, when we get new buildings, I can reassign them and redecorate every map. And you know what? In theory, fun. In actuality, I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. Should have just left Eternity Isle and moved some houses around and redecorated when I got to it, but you live and you learn, I guess. Lurking while playing along. Thanks for hanging out my little corner. Before Storybook Vale arrived, one of your theories was the locked gate in the treehouse would lead to a Hercules biome realm. Wait. Locked gate? Oh, that would be interesting. I do wonder if we're ever going to get any more biomes in the main valley. I kind of feel like we won't. Especially after the addition of the floating islands. I feel like... I don't know. I just don't anticipate that that's something that we'll see. I'd be happy to be surprised. What do I need to do? When do we get patch notes? Usually today, but probably tomorrow if I had to guess. It's a little late in the day for them to drop something. It wouldn't be completely unheard of, but usually if they're gonna drop the patch notes, they would have done it already. Okay, I think... How much Dreamlight do I have? 60,000. That's a good amount. Do I want to... Wait, is there anything that anyone's doing to make their life easier for the star path? Like, is there anything I should be thinking about for that? I've left my night thorns. The valley's a mess. I've left some memories around. Valley, again, a mess. You know what? You loved my Eternity Isle? Thank you. I actually loved it too. I do think with the buildings that I have over there right now, it's going to be really cute whenever I finally decorate it again, but that's gonna be a while, I fear. What? You know someone who's placed meals in cookers. Oh. Slow cookers with 10 appetizers, entrees, and desserts. That makes sense. Which Dream Fest items do I have? Like the current event? I have all of them, I believe. I had done it last year and then went ahead and got the new ones this year. We've got the Cinderella popcorn bucket, the Stitch popcorn bucket, the Figment one, the Pooh one. This one's really cute. I might actually hold that one. The Mickey one, the Doug one, and the minecart. Speaking of, I know we're leading up to an update, so it's probably not going to happen before then, but I just like to go on record again saying I'm glad we're getting Pride items, but next year, can we get them earlier in the month? That would be even better than getting them late in the month. You do 5 stars since it counts for everything below as well, which checks out. I don't know how many cookers I have, actually. I don't use them very much. I shall place you. Actually, do I want to put you there? Here's the thing. Oh, it's fine. I might actually pop you back here in the abyss. Up Dreamlight to be able to craft the potions manuals. Oh, that's actually true too. Can I? Yeah, just move you. It would be satisfying if I had one more. I might make one more. Daisy's Boutique set up for all the challenges. Ah, see, I kind of have my Daisy's Boutique like that. I haven't updated it in a couple of update cycles, but it usually still works. You love the multiplayer gate thing that's in the abyss. Oh, you don't know what to do with it. Yeah, I feel like I always kind of tuck it in a corner because I just don't love the look of it. It's not my vibe. I really hope we get skins for it at some point. Thank you. Thank you. If the next star path is as easy as the current one, you'll be happy. Yeah, there's just like a little bit of an odd thing for me, I think, with spacing out the free update and the DLC update. I understand why they do it. I don't mind it. It's just since I usually will only play when I'm streaming, at least I'll only do the star path and the quests when I'm streaming usually. It takes me a little longer to do the star path, and then I also feel kind of pressured to finish things before we get the next drop that's coming sooner than it usually does when it's just 2 free updates equally spaced, you know? So the 3 weeks between this free update and the DLC update, I'm like, I have so much to do. Oh, well, that is just mean that you put one over there. Very disrespectful. Hi, Rebecca. Hello. What is the book thing? Oh, wait, the glider? This is a glider that you can get from the Storybook Vale DLC. It's a reward from one of the Lore Keeper puzzles. The outfit has Milo vibes. It kind of does. I have the actual Milo outfit, but I don't usually wear it. I need real Milo, though. Oh, yeah. Actually, someone asked what characters I want to come into the valley. I say the same thing every time because it's true. Milo and Kita from Atlantis are my biggest desire. Yes, Milo and Kita, because you can't have one without the other. I will not hear any debate about this. What else? Meg. Hercules is fine, but honestly, Meg is the real queen. And I really want Asha from Wish. I didn't know we could make 30 things in here. Anyway. I know it's silly. I'm probably just going to do 10 in each of these. Just because that way, if something tells me to make 10 of them, it's like, okay, slay. I don't have to collect all 20 or something. I don't really use these very much. You've never heard me say Milo and Kita? That's a lie. You've been feeding all your neglected critters so you can actually have them as companions for the update. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be a really wild ride, leveling up all of the critters. I wonder how quickly it's going to go. I almost hope that it's like, I don't know how other people feel about this. I almost hope it's a little bit grindy. You know what I mean? Like, I hope you won't level them up super quickly. Okay. Give me more of these. Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Your vote is in as well for Asha. We think alike. Yeah, I like Asha. I am very biased though, because Asha is the Disney girly that looks the most like me. So I just see her and I'm like, yes, queen. I love her. I also love Miss Ariana DeBose, an icon and a legend. So I would love to see Asha. And then it would be cute too, because you could bring Star as a critter companion. Whether you like Wish or not, you can't disagree that Star would be a really cute critter companion. Just floating around behind you. Good Sis Tink is known for disliking Atlantis and never acknowledges its existence. Actually, I've never even seen it. I don't know, like... That's how much I do not care about it. I had the option to watch it and I just said, no, I don't think I need that in my life.
There's adventure to be had.
You're leveling up your flowery Cappy first so you can officially add her name as Peanut. Oh, yeah, I feel like for me, it's got to be my robot. My robot is kind of my forever friend. You have a feeling, or oh, you have a feeling people are going to complain that it takes too long. The thing is, yeah, it's going to be nice to have the additional functionality of the perks of leveling up your critter companions. But I feel like that's one of the things that can be grindy because it's not like a make or break for your gameplay, you know? Like, it's something that's nice to have. And if the effects compound the more you have leveled up, like, that's cool. But it's one of those things where it's like, there's no negative to having it be a little bit more of a grindy activity. And I feel like people tend to finish update content so quickly. Like, I feel like I do, and I limit the amount that I play it to when I'm on stream, and I still feel like I finish it quickly. So I think it would be nice to have something that's a little bit more grindy, but still achievable, that you can work on at your own pace between updates. You know what? Angela Bassett did do the thing. You know what? The Tonys that just happened, they did the 10-year Hamilton, I don't know, celebration or whatever. When I saw Miss Ariana DeBose, I was like, girl, you've been doing your thing recently, but yes, I remember when you were the bullet in Hamilton. An icon. Kind of happens in the background so it can be grindy. Exactly. It gives you a reason to like be in the valley and do stuff. Gaston sitting in that little donut chair was kind of funny. Okay. I think for now, let me make sure I actually set all of those cooking. Your quick dream snap is done. Amazing. Good job. Okay, yes, those are cooking. I already have vacuums everywhere, so I don't have to worry about that. Should I? I don't think I'm going to plant anything because usually if it wants you to harvest stuff, there's specific things. I don't think I need that. I have seen people who have little garden islands that have everything planted. I think that's kind of cute. I was thinking about doing that with one of my islands, but maybe the forest one. I don't know. Thanks for the sip reminder. Okay, I think I'm going to, for now, pop up to Forgotten Lands Island. And we're gonna see if we can figure something out. Oops. You know what I need to know that has absolutely nothing to do with Dreamlight Valley? I need to know when the next season of Has Been Hotel is coming. I feel like I saw something about the creator saying that there was going to be info at some kind of con or like event that's happening maybe next month in July. But I feel like maybe July is also too far for me to know. Okay. What other things am I putting here? House, house, house. I don't think there were any other houses. I think I decided to leave the pink castle in Storybook Vale. Actually, should I grind? I know this is in the distance, but I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to do this before the next update. Should I grind some storybook magic? Also, is it called storybook magic or story magic? I always forget. I feel like it referred to it as both of the things early on. Like one time it said story magic and one time it said storybook magic, and that just confused me forever, even if what they've been calling it has been consistent since then. Okay. The vibe, the vibe, the vibe. I think it would be fun to either spawn in the center or one of the corners. This is such a big space. Are we getting a whole new DLC or just an update to Storybook Vale? This Wednesday when we have the update, we're not getting anything DLC related. It's just the free update. On July 9th, we're getting the update to Storybook Vale that will finish up that DLC. And then most likely at the end of the year, we'll be getting a new DLC. Can't forget Miss Dinah. So you don't need to buy a new DLC at this moment? Correct, yeah. There's not going to be a new purchasable DLC until probably the end of the year. Okay. Slay. Possible teaser for the new DLC at the end of Storybook Vale. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about that. That's probably one of the things that I'm most excited about. Also Aurora, because I love her and she looks so cute. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's so amazing because I love getting excited about something new, but also we know once we get this teaser in early-ish July, we're still gonna have to wait many moons to actually get the DLC. It's a shame and a tragedy. You think it's going to be a city theme or an underwater theme? I wouldn't mind an underwater biome. Listen, I also kind of wouldn't mind a like city kind of feel to a biome. I don't know how they would. My main thing is I feel like I've said that a lot in the past, and I haven't said it as much recently because I'm not entirely sure how they would pull it off. And what I mean by that is that the biomes at the end of the day are just blank space and borders for the most part. I don't know how they would make a big open blank space and borders feel metropolitan. You know what I mean? Because kind of the whole vibe of a city is like the crowdedness of it. You're having a small surgery at the start of July, so you'll be able to binge the new DLC. That's amazing. I mean, well, maybe amazing that you're getting surgery. I don't know the context. Please, you do not need to share, but hopefully a good thing that you're getting surgery and a good thing that you'll be able to binge the new DLC content. And I hope that goes well. A great time to be a pink dress truther. Here's the thing. We always knew it was going to be the pink dress. I do feel like, or I mean, I guess we always knew if it came between the blue dress and the pink dress, it was going to be the pink dress, or at least that's what I would have anticipated. Okay, I would like a maze. I don't have one of those anywhere. Where can I put one? I just wanted to pull out all of the kind of giant things that we're going to be working with. James, hello, hello, how are you? You're more excited for the DLC update than Peter Pan. I don't know if there's one that I'm more excited for. I feel like I'm really excited about both of them. I was just talking about how giant this space is. I feel like maybe that's a lie. Excited, but also afraid it'll make you want to rush through it to see the teaser. I feel like I want to, but like I will say, props to all of you. I appreciate specifically like when we had the developer update that I waited to watch with everybody on stream a handful of hours after it was made public. I really appreciate you all for respecting my request to not spoil anything. Like I had my the mods weren't here, so I only had my sister 6 hours in the past in her her time zone moderating the chat. She did me a favor, but she said everyone was super good, and every time I looked over, no one was sharing anything spoilery, so I really appreciate that. That being said, even though I pretty much have faith that most people in my stream chat wouldn't spoil that if I asked them not to, the reality of DDV content is that there are always people's thumbnails that show everything and a bag of chips, so I don't have faith in my ability to avoid the spoilers for any significant amount of time. So I feel like I will have to speed through it if I don't want it spoiled for me. Or maybe a new furniture category just called buildings. That would be nice. I do feel like the furniture mode needs a bit of an update. I would love the categories here to be in alphabetical order. It was fine that it was just as added when we only had what, like 4 rows of them, but now that it's a lot longer, I feel like it needs to be in alphabetical order. Otherwise it's too chaotic. I think some additional categories like here or even here would be a little bit helpful. Definitely a search bar at Scrooge's shop. It's a must. I'm streaming early Wednesday and you'll be at work. Oh no. The IPs not being alphabetical has been driving you crazy from the start. Yeah, I mean, I was always a little bit like, why? But I was more okay with it when you could see them all in one frame, right? But now that you got to scroll through them, it's a lot of rows. My eyesight is not the best in general, but then when like, it's too much for me. I need it to be in alphabetical order. Why did I just forget the duplicate button out of nowhere? Improved tags for searching would be nice as well, for sure. I agree with that. I think I want to make a little castle moment there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a full maze. Maybe we could do a abbreviated maze in this corner. I'll be streaming early on Wednesday. Yes, I will. So if you haven't checked out our schedule yet, oh, by the way, I do need to adjust the schedule, but I'll let y'all know after this. Or if you haven't been here for previous update days, I stream starting at noon Eastern time on update days, which is 2 hours earlier than my usual stream time. And it's 3 hours after the update drops. I do that because I usually stream the afternoon anyway. I don't want to get up that early. I hate to say it. I mean, I'm up that early anyway, but I don't want to get up to the point that I'm like ready to stream by that time. Also, everybody tends to stream at the same, like right when the update drops. I like to give it a little breathing room, come in when I'm ready, when everyone else has, for the most part, had a chance to download the update, check out a couple things so you don't have to be as concerned about spoilers if you're trying to avoid them. And so we get some more people hanging out since there are a few fewer streams to contend with around then. So yeah, 12 noon on Wednesday, Eastern time, we'll be here. And then the other thing is I'd put on the schedule for the week that I was gonna stream on Saturday afternoon, because I didn't want to wait until Sunday to play the update again. But I think I'm not going to be able to do that because I forgot. I think we're going over to my sister and her partner's house on Saturday. So probably not a Saturday stream. I apologize. Where did I get the heart towers? Good question. Do we remember if these were in Scrooge's shop or if they were in a chest in the Wonderland realm? I want to say it was Scrooge's shop. Love y'all, but not that much. Honestly, I love y'all enough to be at a 9 a.m. stream, maybe. But like, here's the thing. If I'm not having a good day, y'all are not gonna have a good day when I'm streaming, probably. Like, I need to be able to be my best self for me in order to be my best self for you, you know? So I'm really doing you a favor by not showing up tired and half awake. It was from the Alice realm? Both. Okay. One in a chest, but they do spawn at Scrooge's too. Great. Thank you for answering, everybody. Okay. Beautiful. The girls who get it, get it. You don't have to lie to Jay or Carlos about it. Oh my goodness. I know I bring that up a lot. I cannot express how much I actually love that scene. Sophia Carson really did do her thing. She deserves an Emmy for that scene. Do I think she got the respect she deserved for it? Probably not from the world, but I think I hold the utmost respect. Okay, well, you're getting booped in a little bit. There you go. That should work. Not you. You don't think you'll be home yet when I start streaming, but you'll join when you can? Yeah, no worries. I know it's a different stream time than I usually play. I just, when we're having an update, I gotta get in there. What did people do with the pillars after the quest where you place everyone on Dazzle? I have all of mine in my plaza. I like to keep them all in the same biome because I think it's fun. But I had them in the glade for a little while. That was cute though, actually. I really liked my last glade build. I think that's the one that's in my most recent Valley tour. And then before that, I'm pretty sure I had them in the forest. I don't know if there's a way to make that even. We're gonna try. Hope I like my maze better than you liked yours. Oh no, yeah, listen, I'm not a maze maker, but we'll make something. This is also a very small amount of space, I think, to make a maze, but it's fine, it's fine. We'll do something with it. Right now, I'm kind of just trying to sketch out what I would like to have to see if I have enough space for all of it, because I know I said this was a giant space to work with, and that's kind of true and also kind of not. Simultaneously. You have a little pillar circle in the forest. Yeah, I want a pillar circle at some point. But I think I made my pillar plaza right before we got the update where we could rotate things more freely. And then I was like, I have to wait till I'm done finishing my current build of the valley before I start moving things around too much. Thinking about putting this in the maze, but actually I don't want that. I don't want to have to spawn into the maze every time I show up on this island. So maybe we'll put it like here. You put them back in the builds you had made around them. I kind of at some point would like to have them in their designated biomes because I've never really done a build where I had them in their actual biomes, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, where do these things need to be in relation to everything else? This stuff should be back here. This can be somewhere around here. Maybe teapots here-ish. Yeah, this can go in this corner somewhere. Perhaps. This is a lot squeezier than I thought it would be. Most of them you have foliage or colors that match the biome, like the Frosted Heights one has snow. Oh, nice. Wait, I had another one. I had them all in the glade in my last Valley tour, but they were over, like, how do I explain this? I can't explain this. I am a little bit stalling, but it's fine. The Pillar Glade build was so good with the matching decor and the little plaques. Yeah, well, that was the one that I forgot that I did. The one that I was thinking about was a different one. Well, actually, maybe it was that one, because at first I had them all along this back side of the glade. I had kind of a winding path, and then the pillars were all in a line down here all the way to kind of where Merida's house is. And each section I had, yeah, the matching foliage from their biomes, and that was cute. But then after that, we got the Tiana update, and we got all that cool stuff in that star path. So then when that happened, I moved Tiana's restaurant to right here. And then we had like the sort of train track looking thing leading around here. And I had all of the pillars in this spot over here. I really liked that one. That was cute. Not getting ribbons with Minnie, just V8 decorations. That's very rude. Oh yeah, the upcycle feature. You shouldn't be able to turn the V8 things into that, but the other collection specific, I think they're called the time-bending gifts. You should be able to convert those into ribbons if you need to. It just dawned on you, you have no idea where to put Peter Pan's house. Yeah, I feel like the wood color is gonna look really good in the forest. So I might put it in the forest, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to make it work in the Vale, in the Beanstalk Marshes, whenever I make this fairy core build situation with the fairy houses. I'm hoping I can make it work with these. Like maybe over by this little wilted flower house, you know? I feel like they've got similar-ish, like scraggly, woody vibes. Oh, the wild tangle with the boathouse. That's a great idea. I did throw the boathouse in the wild tangle, so I might snag that idea if I can't make him work somewhere else. That's a really good idea. I haven't decorated anything over here since I redid it, but my plan is to have the boathouse over here. Yeah, Peter's house would look good there. It really would. I'm kind of excited to decorate this area. It's been a long time. You entered Scrooge's shop and you're floating in the wall in the corner. The glitches that your game gives you, Anthony, need to be studied. How does one? Give me a second to just glide around while I try to figure out the flow of this place. I have no paths, which is going to make it harder, but I kind of think it would be nice to have the well. I think I'm gonna need to get rid of this exit. This being on an angle is also potentially troublesome. How am I preparing for the update? We did a little bit of like cleaning up and trying to make sure we had some things preemptively done for the star path. Now I'm kind of just trying to plot out my Wonderland floating island, which doesn't have anything to do really with update prep, but is a nice way to say goodbye to the Wonderland update cycle. So I'm not mad at that. We might go back and do a bit of Dreamlight grinding or something if I start to get really sick of doing this. It's possible we might. Yeah, that's really weird, but I don't want to put the maze on an angle because I know it's going to be really difficult to do that. I could make this even smaller. I don't know how helpful that's going to be. Thanks for the sip reminder. Ezra, thank you for lurking. I appreciate it. Speaking of Peter Pan, you're reading Wings of Starlight, and I have to read it if I haven't. It's about Queen Clarion from the Tinkerbell movies. Wait, is that book? Wait, pause. Let me exit out of furniture mode. Not a pretty sight to leave you on, but I'll stand in front of Alice's house. I'm checking Goodreads about when that came out, because I feel like I knew that was coming out whenever it did, and I might have it in my cart for like Barnes & Noble or something. Wings of Starlight. I can sort of picture the cover of this book in my head, but I know I haven't read it. Yes. Yeah. It did come out this year. Yes. Wait, it's got a 4.23. That's not shabby at all. Maybe I will. You know what? Give me a quick second to look this up on Libby. Let me see if they got me covered for this one. I might enjoy it. One of my favorite books is Fairy Haven and the Quest for the Wand. Famously, I used to listen to the audiobook every night. It's just full of so much nostalgia for me. It might be really nice to read a Queen Clarion book. Wings of Starlight. Wow, the disrespect. I mean, but also kind of the slay. Spoiler, my library at least doesn't have a digital version of it. They might have a physical version, I don't know. But when I typed in Wings of Starlight, it recommended the Crescent City bundle. 3 books in 1, which is kind of wild because the Crescent City books are so long. To think of all 3 of them in one digital book that you're borrowing for 2 weeks. My goodness. But I did enjoy Crescent City. Wait, you literally just finished that book an hour ago, Bailey? Wait, really? Wings of Starlight? Maybe this is a sign. Actually, wait, that reminds me. If I haven't done this already by Wednesday, feel free to politely bully me. I need to post about what book we want to read for our community book club that we unlocked with our charity stream last month. I am very much open to suggestions. You have it on your TBR and on your Kobo. Magister, how do you like your Kobo? I don't need a new e-reader, but I love shiny things, and people really had me with like the Kobo Libre, the color one or something. I don't know if that's what it's called. Whatever it is. You're doing your reading journal spread for it right now. I love a reading journal spread. Oh my goodness. I do my reading journal digitally. I do just like a really mini review and like try to just make it pretty, but I love a reading journal. You have the Libra color, got it in January when your beloved Kindle Oasis started faulting on you. Oh no. That's exciting though. I almost got the color, what's it called? The Color Soft Kindle or whatever last year when, I think it was last year when it was first released. I'm so happy I didn't, because I've heard that it's a little wonky for most people. Like, I'm glad I did not do that. You might genuinely give it 5 stars. Oh my goodness. What other books have you given 5 stars? Anybody in chat who's a reader, what are some books you've given 5 stars? Or even if you haven't given them 5 stars, like your really highly recommended books, like books that you would recommend. Because there are some books that I stand pretty much 10 toes behind and I would recommend to anybody, even if I don't necessarily give them 5 stars. Sunrise on the Reaping. Now listen, speak on it. The Green Rider series, Beartown by Frederick Backman. I feel like I've heard of multiple books by that author. I feel like I have one on my book wall that I haven't read, and I'm trying to think of what it is right now. Is there a book called Anxious People? Is that by that author, or is that someone else entirely? Ah, it is that author. I do have this book on my book wall. I'm looking at the cover now on Goodreads. I've not read it. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I haven't read The Naturals, but Jennifer Lynn Barnes wrote The Inheritance Games, maybe? Real or not real? I read the first Inheritance Games book. I can be pretty bad with author names sometimes. Like, a lot of them I know sound so familiar and I can't quite place them. But I think Jennifer Lynn Barnes wrote The Inheritance Games. Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Silmarillion. I don't know that. You think everyone should read the Only a Monster trilogy? My goodness. Your favorite YA series from someone who reads 100+ books a year. Nice. The Shepherd King by Rachel Gillig. Did Rachel Gillig write One Dark Window? Also, if so, I think they also have a book out now that I don't remember what it's called, but the cover is so pretty. It's got like a person with wavy hair and they've got like a little blindfold thing and it looks epic. I don't know a single thing about that book or what it's about, but the cover is really cool. Oh, that is the series. Gotcha. The new book is The Night and the Moth. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I'm trying to like teleport myself back to this well so I can see how it's gonna look when I pop in here. Let me teleport away and then come back. Yeah, One Dark Window is a book that's always at the top of my TBR, but for some reason I never get to. Okay. Yeah, I think something like this is going to be cute. Some trees behind it. I'll probably move those two things closer together. And this is a good starting point because then I can make a path that's going to give us some direction. Where do I want you? Like here? Hey, Cheshire. I might actually turn you around so I can see you from here. Kind of iconic. Oops. You're reading Twisted Lies. I have maybe that book on my shelf. I can't actually tell. Wait, I don't know. Is that like the third book in the series but has Twisted Love and Twisted Games? If so, I have at least 1 or 2 of those books on my shelf and I've not read any of them. Marie Wolf, hello. Inflicting the Cheshire Cat on myself as soon as I pop in. It's only right. in a wonderland place, though, I think. Okay. What path am I going to use? I can literally change it to anything at any time, so I'm going to just pick something that I'm going to be able to see okay. That'll work for now. It's the last one out of 4. Gotcha. Yeah, what's the next book I'm reading? I feel like I, this month, wanted to just kind of read whatever I wanted. I mean, I always read whatever I want, but this year in general, I've just been a bit more particular about trying to catch up with or finish reading some of the series that I'm in the middle of and not really start too many series if I haven't done that. But this month I was like, let me just kind of read whatever, but I do have some things that I'm hoping to finish before the end of the month. I want to read The Hero of Ages, which is the last book in the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy. Because I started my journey in the Cosmere this year, and it's been pretty good so far. I will say, anyone who's read Mistborn Era 1, I'm 2 books in. I've got 1 book left. I kind of have some questions. Why does everyone hate Kelsier? Everyone talks about Kelsier, but literally it's always like, oh, I'm not gonna be like Kelsier. I'm not going to be so, like, brutal or something. And I'm like, but I would not say that brutality, especially not, like, senseless brutality, was a defining characteristic of Kelsier. And everyone's like, oh, so-and-so, you're so much, like, this is the thing that Kelsier is really good at, but you're so much better than even Kelsier at this. Like, anytime Kelsier is brought up, it's literally just to, like, say something bad. And I'm like, do y'all secretly hate him? And why? Like, I don't know. When you say Kelsier makes better points than Vin a lot of the time, exactly. Vin gets on my last nerves, because here's the thing. Vin is, like, and that's another thing. Everyone's like, Kelsier only cares about being a hero, like being someone that everyone else thinks is, like, deific in a way. And I think in some ways that's true, but not as true as other people make it seem. Like, if you are showing me Kelsier's actions and you want me to believe that that's true of Kelsier, like if Brandon Sanderson wants me to believe that that's true of Kelsier, he did not do his job, because I don't think that that's something, like, that's something that a lot of people say, but not something that's shown in his actions to me. So everyone saying that all the time, I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, Kelsier only cared about himself and only, like, wasn't actually trying to help the ska. Meanwhile, Vin's over here like, I literally don't care about the ska. Like, things suck now, but I guess they sucked worse before. So all I care about is my man, and making sure he's in power. Girl, what? Like, girl, what? Vin, you're getting on my last nerves. Who's Vin? She's the main character of Mistborn. But then also Vin's like, I don't know. She's cool. I think she has a lot of, like, she's a survivor. Like, she reminds me of Katniss in a way, where she's like, I will do whatever I need to do to survive, and I will do it well. And I'm like, that's admirable. To be able to make it through really abysmal circumstances is a really like impressive thing. She's very clever, but at the same time, she's fairly impulsive. And I just can't really get over people dragging Kelsier. Like, leave the man alone. Leave the man alone. The patch notes have not dropped yet, Felly. The next book on your queue is Oathbringer in Stormlight Archives. Nice. Keep reading the series into Era 2. Fair enough. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes she does things. Like, it's really the things were worse before, so it's fine that they're still bad now. Like, I think there's literally a line like, oh, there are these beggar children who don't have a home and they're like pickpocketing people, but at least they have people to pickpocket now. What? She said at least they have people to pickpocket now. Girl. And she's like, that's good enough for me. Ma'am. I cannot. Have I read Fourth Wing? I went on a Fourth Wing rant earlier, so I will spare everybody that. But I thought it was entertaining, although I think some of the pacing around the middle of the book got kind of slow, the first book anyway. But apart from that weird pacing moment, it was a very entertaining read. It was also a bit of an infuriating read for me. To be fair, though, there are a lot of books that I really legitimately thoroughly enjoyed the first Mistborn book, The Final Empire. I did. Like, some of the things that I enjoy the most or feel really strongly about, I also have very strong criticisms of. Like, me critiquing something or even bashing something in some ways is not necessarily a reflection of my enjoyment of the things. Like, if I really hated something, I'm not even gonna care enough to say anything bad about it, because it's like, as soon as I'm done with it, it's out of my brain. The fact that I have critiques is generally a positive sign about how I feel about something. You remember saying this on this very chat with your very own two hands on this very same keyboard that I would have opinions about Vin. Okay, my opinions about Vin also are, I feel like Vin was done dirty by Brandon Sanderson in the way that Kelsier was done dirty. Well, Kelsier was done dirty by Brandon Sanderson in having everybody have crap to say about him, but the actions that we witnessed as a reader were not the things that the characters are saying. Vin was done dirty by Brandon Sanderson by I think this is less of a character flaw and more of an author shortcoming. She is never going to pass the Bechdel test. One thing about Vin, it doesn't matter how powerful she is or how capable she is, she's going to talk about her man, and she's going to worry about her man, and she's going to want to protect her man, and she's going to want to keep her man in power. Like, girl, you are better than this. And I don't think it's necessarily so much a Vin issue. I think it's more the author trying to express her need for someone to choose her and be there for her, because she's never had that in her life, and the author didn't express that in the other ways that I think it is there for Vin, and exclusively illustrated it through her romantic relationship, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way. We're talking about Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Specifically, Mistborn: The Final Empire, which is the first book in the first trilogy, and The Well of Ascension. Well, specifically The Well of Ascension, I would say this is the biggest. Well, I mean, she does it in The Final Empire too, but she really does it in Well of Ascension. Fourth Wing is your next read. That's why you're asking, because you've had people like the first book and some don't. Yeah, I feel like the first book of Fourth Wing was entertaining. I've heard even people who loved the first book did not like the second book very much, and that concerns me. That very much concerns me. Is Mistborn worth reading? I think Mistborn is, I really enjoyed it. One thing I will say I've noticed so far, 2 books into Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere and having read the Skyward series, Brandon Sanderson's writing style is like the first 80% of the book is kind of like simmering, like nothing major happens plot wise in the majority of his book. It's all kind of like things are kind of brewing, and there's like some character stuff happening, and then the last 20% of the book is just like so much happening. So if you're not like a slow burn, not romance wise, but like a slow burn story wise person, you might not enjoy it. Some of the things that I think are strongest about the first 2 Mistborn books, at least, are some of the character dynamics. It's kind of like heisty, like ragtag crew, trying to pull off a job, but the job is overtaking essentially a god. It's very interesting. The crew has some really cool characters in it. And the other strong point of Mistborn, I would say, is the magic system. The magic system is so interesting. Like, they use metals that they ingest, and then they essentially activate the metal to create a magical effect. And the way it's explained and the way it's used, I think, is really cool. So if you're a fan of interesting magic systems, I think you would like it. Hi, Paige. Hello. Also, Mistborn is one of those books that I would consider to be a, like, true fantasy in the kind of plot, conflict, and storytelling, but the main character is a young adult girl, so some of the emotional arcs for the main character are pretty easy to latch onto if you primarily read like young adult fantasy or fantasy romances, even though Mistborn is not that kind of a book. I don't know if that makes sense. Mistborn is good, just really slow. I mean, I wouldn't say it didn't feel slow to me, but it's just like, if you're looking for crazy action-packed, fast-moving plot, it's not going to be like you're on the edge of your seat, but there is like a sense of tension still. Like, even if nothing is actually happening, you feel the weight of what's coming. At least that's how it felt for me. Thanks for hanging out, Nina. I appreciate it. YouTube is showing you videos with Brandon Sanderson right beneath the stream. It knows. Yeah, the first thing I ever read by Brandon Sanderson was Skyward, which is a young adult sci-fi series. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I wanted to start Mistborn because I love the idea of like a cinematic universe. And Brandon Sanderson is most known for his Cosmere books, which are different fantasy series that are kind of linked in some way or other. And Mistborn is usually the series that people recommend you start with if you're going to be reading the Cosmere. So they're my first Cosmere books. You read Shield of Sparrows last week and you loved it so much you're already rereading the audio version. Oh, nice. Actually, Mistborn was a book that when I finished it, I was like, I need to reread it immediately. I love books like that, where there's either kind of like a surprising twist at the end or like a really interesting reveal about a character that makes you feel like, oh, I need to reread this because I want to view what was happening at the beginning with all of the context. I love that kind of thing. I haven't read Shield of Sparrows, but it's always recommended to me. Is it like a traditional fantasy romance though? Because I need to take a break from those. I'm a little bit tired of the dark shadow boy, overpowered female main character, like morally gray thing. It's not my favorite vibe at the moment. Mostly because I feel like every like romantasy has the exact same male main character. And I just like, if I wanted to read Resand, rinsed and repeated, I would kind of just rage read ACOTAR again, I think. Which is why, part of the reason why I like plug for my favorite young adult fantasy series right now, Legendborn. I love Legendborn so much. Is there like a kind of dark, broody, Reese-ish character? Yes, but he's not the main boy. We got some variety. That's another reason I need to read Wings of Starlight. Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel like maybe this is the TikTokification of reading. I think it probably is partially the TikTokification of reading. I feel like there's just like a template that was very successful, and now many books, especially books that end up being popular, are kind of just like that template rehashed. And I feel like I need someone to switch it up a little bit. It's not that it's a bad story, it's just that when you read essentially the same archetypes over and over again, I start to lose interest. You really liked the FMC and Shield of Sparrows because she's not the same. I don't know if I can do it. And then it's the most powerful ever. I hate that. I have a lot of bad things to say about the Powerless trilogy. But one thing I will say about the Powerless trilogy is that it didn't take the road that I thought it was going to take with a plot twist about the main character. I'm going to go do some Dreamlight grinding. I don't know why I went to this island. You don't think anyone has done the SJM formula quite like she does. Now, my thing about Sarah J. Maas is not even my favorite like example of that thing though. And why I think it is because I think her romantic relationships are so toxic, both within the relationships and also the way that that relationship affects the people that are close to the individuals in that relationship. Let me explain. I'm not opposed to like we are fated to be together, like we're fated mates kind of thing. That is not my favorite trope, but I don't mind it. I hate the like alpha male, anyone who even questions my partner on any decision that they make is going to be verbally and physically assaulted. I hate that. I think that's not cute. I don't think that's being a good partner to your... If you feel like you have to physically assault anyone who questions your partner's decision making, that's not being a good partner to your partner. That's just being a bad person. And I hate that. I also hate the fact that it's called out specifically in Crescent City as an undesirable trait in a person, but then it's still glorified because the person is that way in the relationship. And they're like, well, actually, maybe when he does it, like, oh, no, 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 no. I also just feel like that's bad when the female main character is like, you're not allowed to question my decision making ever anyway. Like, that's not being a good friend or a good leader to say that my decision is final. If you don't like it, that's too bad. Also, I'm going to make decisions for us as a collective without telling you. I think that's just also being a bad person and a bad leader in particular. Not that I need everybody that I read about to be a morally upstanding person. I more dislike when we're then supposed to perceive what they're doing as morally upstanding. You know what I mean? Like, one of my favorite, I talk about this all the time. One of my favorite books of the past couple years that I read is Magnolia Parks. No one in Magnolia Parks is a good person, but we're not like, the way that the book is written, it's not trying to make us believe that they're a good person. It's very aware that the relationship is toxic and the individuals are toxic, but a lot of the way that Sarah J. Maas's books are written, it's like we're supposed to think the relationships are healthy. And we're supposed to think that the people are like girl bosses, you know? Am I streaming on the 25th? I don't know. I stream every Sunday through Wednesday. If the 25th is a Sunday through Wednesday, then yes. Actually, I really want to... Here's the thing. I'm waiting for the last Daisy Hates book before I reread the Magnolia Parks books. But I really want to reread the Magnolia Parks books. Any tips on grinding memories? Like, any in particular, or just... Do you need... Well, let me clarify. Do you need just any orbs, like for the star path, or are you looking for specific memories? Because as far as I know, there's not necessarily a way to maximize how many memories you get. But if you're trying to get memories somewhat quickly or easily, I usually go for cooking. You're struggling with watering flowers. Oh yeah, that's just random, unfortunately. Memory gathering in general, I think is just based on a random drop formula that's coded into the game. I don't think there's a way to make them appear more frequently. Rip to that watering flowers indoors memory hack that they had way back in like the first couple months of early access that they patched real quick. All I will say is that they patch bugs that aid players so fast, but bugs that are impediments for players, they'll be around for years sometimes. Decorations to the Forgotten Lands and the Forest. I can do this. Simba, I don't need you growling at that Nightthorn. Actually, someone brought this up earlier. Do we think that the Nightthorns are gonna go away in this next update when we grab the Forgotten and make them a villager? Like, do we think we're gonna get to a point where it's like, oh, you've actually properly healed the valley, and then you have the option to maybe toggle off the Nightthorns if you want to, but you could leave them on if you needed them for tasks? Like, I don't think it's ever going to be like you absolutely can never get Nightthorns again. I feel like they'd always leave the option if you needed it for memories or something. Give us a toggle. Yeah, I feel like a toggle would work. Maybe we'll get light thorns. Actually, that is so funny. If they were like, you healed the valley, now instead of night thorns, you have you have functionally night thorns, but they're just not purple and thorny anymore. That would be the biggest example of we gave you what you asked for. You should have asked better. You know, it's like the genie wish where we're like, can we get rid of night thorns? And then they're like, bet. But they just switch it with something that's the same thing functionally. Evelyn, that's why I feel like it could be a toggle though. Because if you get to a certain point story-wise, you could have the option to turn them off. And then if you didn't need them for the star path or for your achievements that you were trying to do or something, you could turn them off. The Nightthorns changing ethnicities is wild. Seating that would look good on a racetrack. I know nothing about racetracks. The most I know about racing is what I read in the Dirty Air series, and there was zero racing in that. Oh no, my energy. Speaking of energy, I haven't looked at any of the Cowboy Carter stuff for Beyonce. Does Beyonce perform energy in her set list? My sister recently told me, unprompted, her ranking of the songs on Renaissance, and energy I think was second to last, and I nearly passed away. I love energy. My Renaissance hot take is that Virgo's Groove is not in my top 5. I need seaweed. She did in the UK, but not the US. Well, I didn't see her anywhere, so it doesn't matter. If it's on video, I can find it. You're building a racetrack for Vanellope and you're stuck for seating. Ah. I mean, my gut feeling was the one Wally bench, but again, this is as someone who knows nothing about racing or racetracks and would just be making it up based on thoughts. Like this little metal bench thing. Where's my sister? We need a word. Honestly, she's not here. I will pass along the fact that I'm not the only one who disagrees, though. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I was trying to wait and see if... No, I don't have that quest still. Well, I guess tomorrow, if a quest for... Because doesn't Mirabelle have, like, a Feed the Sea Turtles quest or something? I'll just leave you just in case. Feed a raccoon. Okay. I need a blueberry. We moved on from Virgo's Groove too quick. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. Like, it's not a bad song. It's good. It's just, I feel like Virgo's Groove is everyone's top pick from Renaissance. And I feel like it's not mine. I don't know what my top pick would be, but I feel like Energy, Heated, Alien Superstar, America Has a Problem. Those are probably my tops. Her doing it live is better than the album version. The album version does sound a little bit like disjointed, but I like that. Play. 2 gifts. Wait, I wonder if we're going to be able to give gifts to our companions. Are we only going to level them by having them hang out with us while we do stuff? These are the questions that I have never asked. And these are the questions that might be answered for us if we had the patch notes. Sully, it's your lucky day. Actually, never mind. Elsa. Never mind. Sorry, Sully. I mean, Elsa, you're probably getting a rock. You know, I have whole food things. Would you like a delicious bowl of Wonderland cookies?
Wow.
Would you also like... You know what? You really like the Arendellian herring, right? I know lemon is an ingredient in one of those. Have a lemon. Where are the patch notes? They're not out yet. Probably tomorrow morning if I had to guess, but I don't know.
Hello, my friend.
Speaking of, tomorrow, we're going to be doing something really exciting. We're going to be playing a game called Date Everything. It's a dating simulator where you have special glasses that make you able to perceive the like personified version of everything in your house and also concepts and also the game itself. And you can date everything. It's coming out tomorrow. I've been waiting for it for 10 years. Not actually, but it feels like 10 years. It's fully voice acted by some huge names in voice acting, and it's gonna be a blast. I might even have my face cam on. We'll see.
Howdy.
We're gonna be flirting with everybody. I'll sell you. This is where we could check the patch notes if we had them. That's exactly what I was thinking when I was talking about that Zen talk. I didn't say it in that way, but I was thinking of the Fairly Odd Parents meme. Harvest some coconuts, I got it. I promise, Magister, it's not. It's just can't. And the character designs are so good. Listen, go watch the like pre-order trailer or something. You'll catch the vibe, I promise. Why was I here? Coconuts. Not the bench. Listen. I love a bench in Dreamlight Valley. I do, but not in a romantic way. Catch some seafood. Let's go. You are a gold bubble. Can't wait to flirt digitally because you can't in real life. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm gonna have the problem I have in every game where there are gonna be too many options. Well, I know there are gonna be too many options because there are 100 characters, but I thought I had trouble picking a Shep or a partner in Palia. There aren't very many options. I for sure had difficulty in Coral Island where there were more options, but 100 is a lot. Hear me out just because you're partnered up. Actually, my partner always makes jokes about that. Even though I've never had like a girlfriend or boyfriend in Coral Island, he still got so, I mean, fake upset when he discovered the hot mermaids in Coral Island. But let me just say, he has no trouble talking to me about his Baldur's Gate playthroughs, the most recent of which he had a relationship with Karlach. So I just think it's maybe hurt for thee and not for me. Not the dream cheating. That is such a funny thing. I feel like I've definitely been there. Where I'm like, wait, what did you say happened in your dream? You broke up with me in your dream? Why were you dreaming that? But why was that in your subconscious? Horse Lover, I think I do know who the toilet bowl character is. I know a couple of the character designs from Date Everything. I feel like we'll have to experience the toilet together because from what I remember, I think it's meant to be like a really funny character. So I won't say, but what I will say is, isn't it giving Lafayette vibes from Hamilton? Makes you think of a Big Bang Theory episode. I've never watched The Big Bang Theory. You know what else I've never watched that I don't think has anything to do with The Big Bang Theory? I don't think it's even similar to The Big Bang Theory at all. But for some reason, it just popped into my head. Maybe because I watched the Actors on Actors today with, I forget what that actor's name is, my apologies, and Kristen Bell, the guy from Severance. I've never watched Severance. Is Severance good? You're romancing Will for the second time in your current Baldur's Gate playthrough. I think Will is so cute. I was just told that Will is boring. Someone, cough cough, mod kitty. I was like, oh, Will's so cute. I love Will. She said Will's boring. Rude. Yeah, Adam Scott. Thank you, Emily. Not the romancing toilets. Listen, listen, listen. I'm not gonna date the toilet. That's not me lying. That's me being genuine. But it is going to be funny to become friends with the toilet. Add decorations to Dazzle Beach. Your mom and brother are obsessed with Severance. Is Severance like Black Mirror? Because I thought I had a vibe of what Severance was, and then I watched this Actors on Actors, and it left me very confused about what it is. You'd rather take boring in this day and age. You know what? Good point. Boring is better than a lot of the alternatives, not gonna lie. Will is literally for the girls. I like Will. I do understand that Astarion is probably like the #1 Right, because he's got the whole Edward Cullen thing going on. But I love Will. Options about dating the toaster or the couch. Does anyone remember them? I think it was multiple movies. Bringing up a toaster just unlocked a childhood memory. The Brave Little Toaster movies. I wonder if I still have that on VHS. I feel like that and Quest for Camelot and The Swan Princess and Tom and Huck were all in rotation together around the same time for me. Road to El Dorado. Those were the non-Disney movies that were like, when for some reason, I guess I was going through a non-Disney phase. 2-star meal or better. I got it. Hi, Mia. Hello. Yeah, Hannah, we're still waiting on the patch notes. Probably won't get them until tomorrow. It's already 4 p.m. Eastern. I think the team is getting ready to grab their lunch boxes and go home for the day. I don't know if they work from a place or from home, but metaphorically go home for the day. Fish in the Sunlit Plateau. You loved the Brave Little Toaster movie when you were a kid? I don't remember a single thing about it, but I remember what the little toaster looks like. Will is so gentle and sweet and princely. That's true. I would say you do have to be a lover girl to get it. Anybody who's read Legendborn, I feel like Will is the Nick and Astarion is the Cell. Also, if anyone's read Legendborn, let me know if you're Team Will or Team Cell or the right team, which is Team Thruple. I've never wanted a throuple to happen so bad. Brave Little Toaster is traumatizing. Wait, what? You haven't watched a stream or played in forever? Well, now's a great time because we have an update this week. On Wednesday, in fact. Team Thruple, but sell for yourself. No, not that. Wait, Lucy, have you read Oathbound? I'm also so happy. I finally got my sister reading, oh, Sunlit Plateau is not the Forest of Valor. I finally got my sister reading Legendborn. I think she's finished Bloodmarked. But she said she had to take a break before she started Oathbound, which fair enough. Is this a safe space? Because you like Astarion as a character, but when you say you find his romance overrated, oop. I feel like I haven't I know, listen. I still haven't finished my first Baldur's Gate playthrough, but I get so, like, the way I can be intellectually aware that this is a game and nobody is real and no actual feelings are going to get hurt. And also the intellectual knowledge of that does not change what I think is a deep rooted problem with people pleasing and not wanting to hurt people's feelings. I have not finished my first Baldur's Gate playthrough and I can't be in a romantic relationship with anybody. Like, Shadowheart was liking me at first and I was like, I can't, like, I was like, I don't know who I'm going to like in this game, so I need to just like shut down all romantic entanglements as soon as they pop up, because me having to break up with one of them eventually would actually deeply scar me as a person. I know this. I need a flower. What's the new update? The new update, we're going into Skull Rock finally, and we're getting Peter Pan, and the Forgotten is going to be an actual villager. It's going to be great. Am I team PETA or Gale? Absolutely PETA. Because let me tell you, okay. This might have some Hunger Games spoilers because even though I generally try to avoid spoiling anything, I feel like Hunger Games was just so big. And if you haven't seen Hunger Games yet, go do yourself a favor, read the books, watch the movies. They're all fabulous. I'm Team PETA because PETA cares so much about Katniss. There is probably nothing quite so selfless as in Catching Fire, PETA being in the position that he's in with, I can't remember if this is a book thing or just a movie thing, but I think it's in the book as well. I'm way more familiar with the movies than the books, even though I've read the books. But with PETA's medallion, what he did for Katniss there was so selfless and considerate and thoughtful. I love that. PETA's always looking out for Katniss, always thinking about Katniss. PETA also cares deeply about what's happening, but he doesn't let it overtake, like, I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like he cares about the greater political events that are happening and the districts, but he also cares deeply for his own humanity and his own interpersonal relationships. And he doesn't really let one or the other win out, not in like a not picking sides way, just in a way that like they're both important to him. And I think Gale could have used a little bit of that actually, because Gale went a little off his rocker. And also, to be fair, I do think Gale and Katniss were really only friends vibes for most of it anyway, especially in the books. I feel like I do remember the books being less romantic between Katniss and Gale, and the movies trying to make it a little bit more of a love triangle. But I also love PETA. I just think he's the best. You're taking a break before reading Oathbound. Bree was starting to make you mad. Okay, I love Bree as a character. Like, the amount that I love Bree is truly surprising considering how infuriating she can be. She's always making some kind of decision that I'm like, girl, why are we doing this? But I know where it's coming from. So it's like, I can kind of forgive her. Like, I can make the A to B to C of how we got here. So even when I deeply disagree, I'm like, okay, this is coming from this, which is coming from this, and you're only a teenager, and you're going through intense grief, and you're dealing with all of this responsibility. Like, I get it, but it does drive me crazy sometimes. You were just sobbing to the series the other day. Wait, Hunger Games? I watched somebody react to Hunger Games, Catching Fire yesterday, and I did in fact shed a tear. You know what? Like, one of the most heart-wrenching... Wait, can I say this? I don't know if I can say this, because I know I said I was kind of okay saying Hunger Games spoilers, but I feel like this might be too much. There's a scene in Catching Fire that I feel like is one of the most meaningful, interesting, and tragic scenes. And it happens about halfway through the movie when there's kind of a callback to a point in the first movie. I don't know if that's enough for people who know what I'm talking about to know what I'm talking about, or like know the movies to know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to go too in depth because I do think that's kind of a spoiler if you know nothing about Hunger Games. And that would be one thing that I wouldn't really want to ruin. Hi, Decorista. Hello. You've been rereading After Sunrise on the Reaping. I do want to read the Hunger Games books again, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready right now. You understand her reasoning, but you're like, girl, communicate. Oh, I'm like that with Brie all the time. I'm like, we like would not be in this situation if you didn't do XYZ. And without saying any of the events that happen in Oathbound, like she just keeps the same energy. Like, I don't know that Brie will ever change in that way in particular. But yeah, she does a lot of things that I'm like, girl, can we can talk to people. Have I seen the Peter meme video? It's Katniss every time she says Peter and it's pita bread flying around. I have not seen that. You know a character is well written when you heavily disagree with them, but you're also like, but you know what, I get it, sis. And I think that's what I'm missing from a lot of fantasy romance. We have a lot of characters making decisions, but I don't like get like decisions that I don't like, but we don't have enough characterization for me to be like, but I get it. At this point, they've been out so long, it's okay. It has been, but listen, I know Hunger Games has been out for a long time, but when I say it actually ruined my life, it ruined my life when Anna Karenina was spoiled for me. That book's been out since the 1800s, but you best believe I was mad when I found out a huge plot point that happens at the end before I got a chance to read it.
Ever had a kid draw a picture of you? It's a pretty special feeling.
Feed a raven. Tia, is that a Game of Thrones thing? I have no idea who those people are. But please inform me. Are we talking about Allie Hazelwood? You know, we're not. But I don't really have too much to say about Allie Hazelwood, except for the fact that I've only read 2 books, one of which was The Love Hypothesis. And The Love Hypothesis did make me mad in many ways. I don't think it's cute when characters have what is functionally an ED and it's meant to be perceived as cute. That really annoys me. I also despise the trope in books where it's like a huge thing, the size difference of love interests, and it's like harped on constantly how big of a disparity in their stature there is. Like, there's something about that that really, really icks me out. Also, there was things were getting spicy, and someone, the lady character, said something, or no, I don't remember who said it. I just remember a very concerning statement that was made. I can't even say it because it doesn't need to be said, but like, no, a lot of things made me really mad in that book, and I was like, ew, 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 ew. Also, the fact that it was potentially originally a Ray and was it a Raylo fiction? I think we should normalize maybe not making fan fiction into novelizations. Like, somebody who wants to write fic and then become an author writing not fic, truly support taking an existing fic and deficifying it to make it a book I don't love. You want the Jungle Book characters? I think that would be cool at some point. I would not say they're at like the top of my most desired list, but I would like to see the Jungle Book characters. 3-star meal or better and jasmine tea. Alexandra, it's not even the height difference that's the issue. It's the way that it's talked about that makes me feel gross. Like, some people are tall and some people are small, but when you're like, oh, I'm just so tiny, and like, just like, like glorifying the way that you're small compared to, and like using language that's like almost like it just comes across really strange sometimes, and I don't like it. And I feel like that was something that was way more prevalent in romances like 5-10 years ago, and is not something that I see as much anymore, and I am so happy about that. Oh, I did not update the question of the day. Sorry. I'll fix it for tomorrow. I totally forgot. Hi, Connor. Hello.
I learned things don't always.
Wait, Allie Hazelwood got bullied off of Instagram because she said she didn't like PETA in the Hunger Games? Is that true? I usually stay out of people's business. I mean, I will say, I have said this before, I'll say it again because it just is what it is. I hate drama in my own life. I don't like involving myself in drama, causing drama, anything like that. I kind of like observing drama, but I mostly stay out of people's business, right? I did not know this was happening. I feel like that's odd. People are allowed to like or not like things. That's another thing. Sometimes I'll talk about things that I do or don't like. You don't need to feel the same way. I am not assigning value to you as a person if you like things that I don't like or don't like things that I do like. Just, I mean, I would hope everyone would know that, but in today's landscape, that's not always understood. We're allowed to have different opinions and still like each other. That's why you thought I was talking about Allie Hazelwood. No, we were just talking about the Hunger Games. All over Threads and Reddit. Well, I don't go on Threads or Reddit, so that's probably why I don't know. I actually, the only social media that I really go on, if not YouTube, if I guess YouTube is technically like social media. The only one I go on is Instagram, and I'm always conned into it. Let me tell you why. It's because I'm usually trying to check on someone's page in particular to see if there's been an update about something. And I always get roped in and end up scrolling, and an hour passes, and I feel like that's a big con. Abby Jimenez and other big authors have been publicly defending her. I mean, I, again, have no actual context for what is happening. If it's just that she doesn't like PETA as a character, let the lady have her opinions. I also really enjoy Abby Jimenez. I feel like her most recent book that came out this year, I've seen more mixed reviews on. I haven't read that one yet, but in general, I really enjoy her books. I'm implying that it's okay to dislike Sophia Carson's performance in Descendants 3. Well, you know what? Okay, everything except for that. Well, here's the thing. I feel like no one could dislike Sophia Carson's Emmy-worthy performance in Descendants 3, so I feel like that's pretty much just a non-issue. I am sad. I have 8 more things on here, but if I use this in the glade, I guess I could fish outside of bubbles in theory. You remember when the girl that played Cassie in Euphoria got a lot of hate comments because they didn't like her character? Separating actors from characters should be a given. I've never watched, actually that's a lie. I've seen a couple episodes of Euphoria, but I've not watched any substantial amount of it. And that was maybe when it first came out. Every now and then I feel like I should watch Euphoria, but aren't people technically waiting for a 3rd season, and isn't there 0 information about if/when a 3rd season will be made? If so, I don't know if I should get myself invested. You love the rom-com Sophia Carson has been putting out. In the movie's defense, I have not seen it personally. However, there's a movie that came out on Netflix. I think it's called The Life List. Is that what it's called? That Sophia Carson is in? It's a rom-com. I have seen one of my favorite creators make a video reacting to it and commenting on it. And based on that, I did have some concerns. You know who was in it? Queen Connie Britton. I love Friday Night Lights. Coach Taylor and Tammy Taylor. Oh my goodness. Icons. An iconic couple, iconic individuals, and an iconic couple, and iconic actors, actually. She was in it. But it seemed like she loved her daughter and hated her son, so that was interesting. And there was also another thing that I won't say because I feel like that's a spoiler. And even though I haven't seen the movie, maybe y'all will want to see it. But just know, I looked at two people and I said, why did you do that? And I looked at Netflix and I said, why was this even a thing? This didn't even, this added nothing to the plot. Why am I here?
Whoa.
To sell meals.
Hi there, pal.
You're here for book talk all day, every day, but can we acknowledge that book talk bookstagram has definitely attracted the mean girls from high school energy? Oh my goodness, who police things? I am not a big consumer of book talk. Well, I'm not a consumer of book talk at all. I'm not a big consumer of bookstagram. I used to watch a lot of booktube. I watch a little bit less of it now. Well, kind of a good amount less. So I can't really speak to the culture of the book spaces on social media. I read a lot of books, but I don't interact with the bookish community a whole lot. You think they were filming Euphoria stuff with Rosalia recently? Oh, interesting. One of the characters from Game of Thrones got so much hate that he doesn't act anymore. That's tragic. That's really sad. You think the issue with rom-coms is that people take them too seriously? Oh, I do not. At least in terms of like quality. I think something can be like, I'm not saying this movie is a low quality movie. I've not seen the movie. I'm just saying there are a lot of movies that I love that I would not describe as I would describe as cinematic masterpieces, but they're like other people and other people would not describe them as cinematic masterpieces. For example, the Descendants franchise. I love it. Is it the height of cinema? Objectively, probably not. But there are just some things, like I feel like there are just some things, a handful of things, if you will, where if they're framed in certain ways, I just like get really icked out.
You know, this village ain't
Let's see. You were the same way until you started writing. Now in the process of marketing, you see more and it's so discouraging. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, if you're writing books, you probably have to be out in the socials communities to, you know, start garnering interest for your work and getting eyes on your projects and stuff. So that makes sense. It could also be one of those things, I don't know though, but I feel like it could be one of those things where there are always going to be certain pockets of certain communities that tend to be a lot more toxic than others, you know what I mean? And sometimes those toxic pockets are also the loudest pockets. Five-star meal. What am I reading right now? I'm actually in between books because I just finished a book this morning. It was called Ballad and Dagger. It's like a young adult fantasy. I think I described it earlier as like Coco, the movie, mixed with Percy Jackson and the Olympians and like Children of Blood and Bone. I did enjoy it. Next, I think I'm going to be reading either Hero of Ages, which is the third book in the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, or I'm going to be reading Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune, which is the sequel to House in the Cerulean Sea, or I'm going to be reading Pucking Around by Emily Rath, which is a Why Choose hockey romance that I read the prequel to. Granted, the prequel was giving all spice no substance, but it was like 60 pages and the actual book is like 700 pages, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Find some minerals. There we go. Do we think it's too early to read a Christmas romance? I mean, here's the thing. I don't read a lot of holiday books in general. I mean, every Halloween I read this graphic novel called Pumpkinheads. It's so cute. But other than that, I don't read a lot of holiday fiction. But I'm kind of feeling like a Christmas romance. It's not even July, I know, but I don't know. Maybe it depends on how Christmassy it is. You know, because like famously, in my opinion, Rent is a Christmas movie, but I would watch it any time of year. Go watch a Hallmark one? I don't know. I do try to leave holiday movies for the holiday season, but I usually watch a lot of Christmas movies around Christmas time. So I don't really have the capacity to consume more of them outside of, I don't know, November, December. It's winter somewhere. You know what? You're right, actually.
In case anybody's worried, you can promise monsters don't have to be scary.
You're waiting for spooky, cozy, rainy season first? Fair enough. Actually, I think I have a couple, like, witchy, Halloween-y books that I need to read, actually. Maybe not now, but... It's also like, how... Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on this earlier, but, like, how Christmassy does something have to be to only read it around Christmas time? Kind of like, how spooky does something have to be to only read about it or watch it around Halloween? Like, I feel like witchy movies, like for example, Agatha All Along. Aside from one's personal feelings about the quality of it, I've not seen it. Is that witchy enough that it should be watched around Halloween? And if not, what makes it all year round worthy? Where's the line? I'm still on. Yeah, I'll probably be leaving soon. I got distracted. We were talking about books and stuff. But it's really hot in here, actually. Any time of the year. You watch Hocus Pocus and Muppets Christmas Carol all year. I feel like I would only watch Hocus Pocus around Halloween. But that also takes place on Halloween night, so that could be part of it. Maybe we'll try to get up to 70,000 and then call it a day. Actually, that's kind of far away.
Say, have you seen my...
Someone who can't watch heavily themed seasonal stuff when it's not the right season, it just doesn't hit. Fair enough. Considering it's about witches, it's extremely lagging in witchy stuff, but a great show. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, speaking of shows, I need to watch. I still haven't watched it. Listen, I'm not emotionally ready. I need to watch Wakanda Forever. I still haven't watched it, even though I've been saying for the past couple months. I mean, I know it's been out for a long time, but specifically for the past couple months, I've been talking about the fact that I need to watch Wakanda Forever. I still haven't watched Wakanda Forever, but I need to watch it because I think next week, Ironheart is coming out. And I can't watch Ironheart without watching Wakanda Forever. Hi, Lily. Hello. But actually, this is kind of a big month for shows because The Bear season 3 comes out at the end of this month. No, season 4. I always think it's the 3rd season, but I'm pretty sure it's the 4th season. The Bear season 4 comes out this month, I'm pretty sure. And also the last season of Squid Game. You're reading Descendants and Hocus Pocus. You were just watching Hocus Pocus 2. I only watched Hocus Pocus 2 once, but I'm pretty sure one of the main girls in that, not the Sanderson sisters, but like the main character that's not a Sanderson sister, I think she's Lenore Dove in Sunrise on the Reaping. Feed a fox, feed a croc. Yeah, I've never seen Practical Magic, but I have the book, and I feel like I need to read the book first, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Hi, Ricky. Hello. Isn't the last season of Squid Game only 3 episodes? Don't say that to me. Is it? That's tragic. Do we know this? I'm so distressed. I know they... They just had the 2nd season, like, last year. And it really does feel more like a split season. But 3 episodes is diabolical. Why would you make us 3 episodes? Am I gonna do my beach with the new stuff from the Star Path? Probably. You have a signed copy of Practical Magic? Nice. Okay. Wow. I'm not gonna say that ruined my day. Wait, I need to... I'm Googling. I don't know if I can find this quickly. I don't know. I did a super quick search. I didn't see anything immediately. Where's the crocodile? Guess it's time Ursula took things into her own tentacles. You can't stand the streaming era. They have us waiting for literal years for like 6 to 8 episodes. Listen, I think there are pros and cons. There's a dramatic oversaturation of the amount of media now compared to like 15 years ago. Seasons are shorter. We've talked about this before, but I think overall the shorter seasons is beneficial because I feel like in general, for like a good show, the quality tends to stay pretty consistent throughout the season. Whereas even if you had a good show 15 years ago, there was such a difference in the quality across each, like even across a single season, because there were just so many episodes. But yeah, waiting for a long time and then getting a smaller amount of content, it is different. The next season is going to be the rest of the second season. Not true. Thematically, it feels like it is, but technically it is a new season. It's called Squid Game Season 3, but thematically it does seem like it's going to pick up right after Season 2 and feel like just a continuation. You're waiting for the new The Bear season? Me too. I kind of want to rewatch the first 3 seasons. New Splatoon season? I don't know. I don't play Splatoon. You hated season 3 of The Bear? Wait, really? I don't remember hating it, but I don't think I liked it quite as much as the first 2 seasons. I think this is a popular opinion because I feel like last time we discussed this, people agreed. I'm not a huge fan of Carmi's romance arc. I feel like it's kind of rushed and I just don't really see it. And I feel like Carmi has too much going on that's more interesting than his love life. I would rather spend the time that we spend worrying about him and his not girlfriend diving into his actual issues. Do I like Bridgerton? I like Bridgerton. I've not watched the most recent season of Bridgerton, but I am admittedly a Penelope hater, so I don't know if I will watch this season of Bridgerton. Is it Bet de Fan? I feel like that's not even close, but hello, how are you? Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close. You don't know what happened to your fishing rod? It used to look like that, like sparkly? That happens when you use an elixir. And once it wears off, it will go back to normal. Turtle. Turtle. Wait, don't watch season 3, it's bad. Wait, I've heard it's good. I'm not, like, I haven't seen it, but from a lot of people, I've heard they really liked the 3rd season of Bridgerton. It is the 3rd season, right? Yeah, the Penelope and Colin season. But I have heard when I was kind of describing the things I didn't like about the book, that those things are prevalent in both Penelope as a character in the season and in the plot. So I just like, I don't know. Like it's Penelope for me is like the epitome of the Tyra, we were rooting for you, we were all rooting for you. I want to like Penelope and think she's a girl boss, but I really just think she's selfish and immature and overly self-pitying and kind of nasty. Like, I don't like her. And based on the way that she was just in general and also with Colin in the book, assumedly it also is that way in the show, I was like, girl, I just can't.
This place is so strange.
You just started the game. It's fun you got both DLCs. Oh, nice. That's amazing. She has some great character growth. Is it gonna be enough though? Because here's my thing. I don't. Justice for Marina is what I have to say about that. I like, girl, I don't know. I don't know if it's enough. Like, I know we live and we learn, but I don't know if she can live and learn enough for me to be cheering for her success. Like, I'm not wishing her ill, but I don't know if I can cheer for her success, you know? Anyone know why Life Size isn't on Disney Plus? No idea.
I hope my time here brings honor to my family.
You thought Rift in Time was a better story than Storybook Vale? Well, Rift in Time, Storybook Vale, the story isn't done yet. So that could potentially change come July 9th. That DLC is not done yet, yeah, but the Rift in Time story is finished. I was supposed to mine, right? Yes. Do I watch Ginny and Georgia? I don't, but I kind of want to get back into it. I remember watching the first season way back when it first came out. I feel like I don't have any specific memories of it. I have just general emotions about the characters, and I remember thinking Georgia was an icon and kind of having like a little bit of a K? Like, what kind of feeling about Ginny? I like the fact that one of the guys in it is from, wait, actually, so L show name, but Heart of Dixie, the show, I think it was on the CW for a while. I feel like I watched that whole show. But one of the guys in that is in Ginny and Georgia. I thought that was kind of fun. But I don't remember the main plot points. But I think I just did add it to my list because I saw the third season just came out. And I just finished watching Forever on Netflix. And I'm kind of looking for something new to watch. But actually, oh, I didn't talk to you all about this. Love Island UK just started like technically last week, I guess, for the Brits and them. It just was made available for me as an American on Hulu, I don't know, a couple of days ago or something. I just watched the first episode of the season with my partner last night. I'm excited and scared to start watching another season. It's gonna be a long, bumpy ride. But imagine my shock and surprise when at the end of, it's the first episode. I'm not considering this a spoiler. When at the end of the first episode of Love Island, UK, mind you, the superior one in my humble opinion, they introduce an American Islander for the first time. Now, let me just say, I don't know this lady. She might be absolutely wonderful. I have no opinion about her as a person because she just showed up. What I will say is my escapism as a viewer ruined. I don't want to spend a season of Love Island UK hearing an American accent. I have nothing wrong with an American accent. I have an American accent one. But I don't want to hear everybody in it around the valley, like, and then just her, you know? It's not doing it for me. And so I respectfully hope that she's not on the whole season. We'll see how it goes. Once Upon a Time is the best TV show of all time. I've watched all of Once Upon a Time except for the last season because that was a little bit of a mess. And you know, I sat through so much Once Upon a Time. It had some really high highs. It also had some really low lows. And more than all of that, it had every curse under the sun. I did just say in it around the valley, didn't I? I got distracted. The villa. Let me take, okay, we'll take that line back again. I don't want to see everybody in it around the valley. No! Never mind. Cut. I'm a flop. Hi, Renee. Love Island is amazing this year. Just gonna say that. You're from the UK and you've been watching it for a week and there's a lot of twists. Okay, amazing, amazing. Yeah, my partner actually loves Love Island. He's not really a reality TV person. You wouldn't think that he's the type of person that would love Love Island, but he loves it so much. Like, he has to drag me through the last like 2/3 of every season because 20 episodes in, am so tired of everybody and everything. And he is the one that keeps me from rage quitting. Once Upon a Time hurt you. It had so much potential. I mean, to be fair, there were a lot of iconic moments, but I think, again, it was because there were so many episodes per season that I feel like they lost plot threads. Like, some of them just never came around or had a resolution. And they were like, we gotta figure out how to, like, what we're gonna do. Throw another curse in there. And they did that. Every time there was a curse that was bigger and badder than the next, if they'd have you, you know, believe it. Hades, if you don't mind, I need to fish here. Give it 2 weeks, your partner will be asking you questions. Then 3 weeks later, we'll be watching it with you. Wait, that's cute. You love having a different accent in the valley/villa? Well, that's good. I don't know. Wait, are you an American? You don't have to answer that. I'm just curious. Like, are you from the UK? Maybe it's just because I'm American and it sounds so, like, I don't know. Part of the appeal of Love Island UK is like the fact that it feels like a different world. You know what I also think is really interesting? Not like a value difference whatsoever, but I don't watch Love Island US, but I watched someone do like a kind of recount or like, yeah, talk about the last season of Love Island US. I think it's very interesting how much of a difference there is in the look of people who are on Love Island US versus Love Island UK. Like, everyone's stunning, but there's a very different like vibe, I feel like. And I'm not sure if that's an actual, like, I feel like a lot of people just around don't look like, at least in the US that I come across, they don't look like people on the show. So I would probably anticipate that in the UK, a lot of people don't just look like people on Love Island UK, but I wonder where that difference comes from. It's not even like they like, it's more in styling, I guess, you know? Different ways of doing their makeup, different ways of doing their hair, different like aesthetic choices. But it's like somewhat consistent within each of the two things. Like a lot of the people in Love Island US are consistently that one way, and in UK are consistently that way. Oh, you're not an American, so gotcha. So hearing the British accent is boring for you. Fair enough. Maybe you should give Love Island US a try. Or isn't there an Australian one too? I've never seen that one. Switch it up. I can remove 4 Nighthorns. I have so many around. Apples. I really want Giselle in this game. Like, very badly. We made it to 70,000. I don't know how much we're gonna actually use on update day or in the update at all, but I'm happy with that. We did some things. Lucy, great timing because we're actually gonna wrap up, but thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have the patch notes. We can talk about them a little bit on stream if that's the case. I will be playing Date Everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. Release day excitement. I'm going to see if anybody else is playing anything right now. Maybe we can go hang out with them. But thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. Please don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already. I would appreciate that. We're gonna go see Sprout Sea Sprout, who's doing some valley cleanup and working on their quests and some update prep. Oh, on the Switch too. So you can get some thoughts about the Switch 2 performance if anybody's considering getting that. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night and take care of yourselves. Please go show some love to Sprout Sea Sprout, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everybody.